This is not just a casual conversation, it is a brutal X-ray of modern relationships in China. What starts as a simple blind date quickly unravels into a checklist of conditions, negotiations, and silent battles over money, expectations, and family obligations. The man enters nervous, pressured by his parents, already carrying the weight of failure. The woman sits across from him with her own list of demands, shaped by years of societal pressure: house, car, income, appearance. They are not talking like two human beings searching for love. They are bargaining like merchants at a market. The tragedy here is not about one man or one woman, it's about a system that has turned marriage into a transactional battlefield. Every question: do you own a house? Will you hand over your salary card? Who will you side with, your mother or your wife? Is a reminder that love, personality, and dreams have been buried under price tags and traditions. The man, with trembling honesty, admits he only earns a modest income, that he has health problems, that he is sometimes lazy. He shows vulnerability. But even his sincerity is drowned in the storm of material demands: dowry, housing, social status. This conversation screams a painful truth. Marriage has been hijacked by money and fear. Fear of loneliness. Fear of aging. Fear of disappointing parents. And in the middle of it all, real emotions, real tenderness, real connection are crushed into silence. What remains is not a meeting of souls, but a negotiation table where two individuals weigh each other like commodities.
This passage cuts straight into the cruel truth of arranged blind dates in many cultures. It is not about love, not about soul, not about connection. It is about trade. Human beings, with their laughter, dreams, and flaws, are reduced to bullet points on a checklist. A man is not a person. He is a salary, a house, a car. A woman is not a person. She is an age, a womb, an expiry date. The tragedy lies not only in how society views people, but in how people start viewing themselves. When a young woman is told at 30 she is too old, when a man is dismissed because he does not own property, they begin to believe their worth is measured in things, not in who they are. Blind dates strip away the dignity of being human and turn marriage into an exam where you are either qualified or rejected. But marriage is not a project. Love is not a contract. Two hearts are not meant to be judged by material checklists. True companionship grows out of freedom, respect, and recognition of each other's humanity. The advice here is a cry for dignity. If you want to live as a real human being, do not allow yourself to be turned into a product for sale. Because once we let society dictate our worth, we stop being people and become commodities. And no soul deserves that.
This story feels like a thunderbolt. It shakes you to the core. On the surface, it looks like a perfect setup. A beautiful woman, gentle, undemanding, almost too good to be true. But behind the flawless makeup and soft words was a secret so heavy it could crush trust in an instant. The man's reaction, chills down his spine, fear in his heart, reveals a deeper pain, the betrayal of human honesty. Blind dates are supposed to be about openness, about finding someone you can build a life with. But when truth is hidden, when life-altering realities are covered under a mask of beauty, it no longer becomes a meeting of two people, it becomes a dangerous trap. Yet beyond the fear lies another question. What kind of loneliness, what kind of desperation, drives someone with an illness to enter the battlefield of blind dates with secrets? Is it revenge, as the man suspects? Or is it simply the desperate yearning of a person who wants to be loved, but who knows society will never accept them if they speak the truth? This story is not just about one encounter, it is about trust, deception, fear, and the fragility of human relationships. It reminds us that appearances can be a perfect disguise, and that sometimes, the most beautiful face may carry the heaviest secrets.
This story is like a dagger cloaked in silk. On the outside, it was everything a young man could dream of: purity, sweetness, the promise of love, the warmth of companionship. But hidden beneath that mask was a truth so devastating it shattered everything in an instant. The tragedy here is layered. On one hand, the man's fear, disgust, and sense of betrayal are raw and real. He thought he had found someone he could cherish, only to learn she had hidden a past that could have changed his life forever. On the other hand, her story is a reflection of society's cruelty, poverty, hardship, and a world where beauty becomes a currency, pushing her down paths she never intended to walk. Her tears were not only an apology, they were a confession of broken dreams. She wanted love, but carried scars that society would never forgive. His fear was not only of the disease, it was of the deception, the realization that behind the innocence he adored lay secrets darker than he could bear. This tale reminds us how fragile trust is, and how devastating betrayal can be. It also forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth. Sometimes people are not monsters, but victims of life's brutal choices. Yet when love is built on hidden truths, it becomes a time bomb, ready to explode at the worst possible moment. The man escaped, but the memory will haunt him forever. And the woman? She walks with her secret, torn between hope for love and the shadow of her past.
This story is nothing short of outrageous. A blind date is supposed to be about honesty, about giving two people a chance at building a life together. But what happened here? A woman carrying syphilis walks in, hides it until the last second, and then dares to say it's just a small issue. That is not just irresponsible, it is reckless, deceitful, and dangerous. What makes it worse is the arrogance. Divorced, with 2 children, carrying an incurable disease, and yet demanding 280,000 yuan in bride price, not 1 penny less. This is not love, this is not marriage, this is pure madness and manipulation. It is turning the sacred bond of marriage into a dirty marketplace, where a man is not seen as a partner but as a walking wallet. To hide such a devastating truth until forced to admit it is poisonous behavior. It is playing with another person's life. This is not just lying, it is endangering others with deliberate silence. And yet, behind this shocking arrogance, one sees the twisted tragedy of desperation. A woman who knows society sees her as damaged goods, but instead of facing it with honesty, she hides behind demands and pride. She tries to buy respect with a price tag, but all she sells is fear, betrayal, and disgust. This is a brutal reminder. When people treat marriage as a trade, when honesty dies, love is slaughtered on the altar of money and lies.